Making this video is making me nostalgic because I actually missed watching This Is Us. Like, I'm so sad it's finished. But anyways, welcome back guys. Today I'm going to be reacting to the main characters. Can't remember how many exactly, but you probably saw them in the thumbnail. So yeah, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on them, I guess from a counselor's perspective. Because why not? I think it was an amazing show. Comment below who your favourite character was, what you thought of them. And yeah, let's have a chit chat in the comment section. Let's start with Randall. Randall. Where art thou, Randall? Anyways, so the one thing about Randall that struck me the most was how he has such a saviour complex. Oh my gosh, it is so annoying. He has this rescuer mentality, which I mentioned in my video about the drama triangle. Like, he has such a rescuer mentality. Like, he has to be the one to fix everybody, help everybody, be everyone's Superman, be everyone's superhero, and it is annoying to watch because you just can't be that person for everybody. And the thing that makes it worse for me is the fact that he does it because he thinks no one else is as capable as him. No one else will fix it as good as he can. No one else will solve it as well as he can. And even when someone else has a better solution than him, it gets on his nerves. He can't just be like, oh yeah, that you're right. Like, it takes swallowing a lot of pride for him to be able to be like, yeah, someone else's idea is better than mine. Someone else's solution is better than mine. He has a few narcissistic traits. Not that I would say he's a narcissist, because we all have narcissistic traits. It's just that we're all on different parts of the spectrum. Because, you know, being able to find yourself attractive, being able to stand up in front of people, liking attention, those are all narcissistic traits, but that doesn't necessarily make you a narcissist if you like those things or you do those things. He has this way of, like, if things aren't done his way, he's not going to be at peace. He's always going to be checking, he's always going to be calling, he's always going to be wondering, he's always going to be like on edge until it's done and until it's solved. And I don't like that. He really likes having people dependent on him. He really likes people leaning on him and like doing things according to him. Like, I don't know, it gives him a lot of sense of fulfillment, but I think it also strokes his ego a lot, because when people do things without him or independently or make a decision without him, he definitely feels some type of way. Makes sense why he went on to become a mayor, because the city wasn't being run correctly, so he had to come and do it. Anyways, and one thing that really makes me pity him is the fact that he can't admit to any weakness, or he can't admit to his anxiety and just admit that, okay, he has anxiety attacks and it's a part of him that he needs to deal with, but he chooses not to and he doesn't like to. And I hate that it affects his family so much, but he still chooses not to do anything about it because of his pride. And overall, like, he's a character that I think he's the least annoying character in the show a bit, but for me, everyone is annoying because I'm seeing everyone through like a very flawed lens. Not that I'm perfect, but I think there's just a lack of self-awareness in a lot of them. But Randall, I think, did probably have the most growth, and he was a bit more understanding than the others, and he wasn't as selfish as the others, as I'll get on to. But yeah, I mean, that's what I think of Randall. Let me know what you thought of Randall in the comments. Next, we've got his beautiful wife, Beth. Beth the ballerina. She's an amazing, strong character. I see a little bit of myself in her, but she has a very good balance between being soft and being strong. And I think that's very amazing of her. I commend her for being married to someone like Randall, because it's not easy. I feel like she's very ambitious, she's very confident, she's sweet yet gentle, and somehow managed to water down her confidence for Randall's sake and water down her ambitions for Randall's sake, and I don't like that. Obviously towards the end we saw her like follow her dreams despite what Randall wanted, but I think a lot of the time she compromised more for Randall than Randall compromised for her. And it's like she said, you expect me to just open up our home to your family members, you expect me to just move up to a different city, you expect me to quit my job and stay home with the kids, you expect me to look after your sick dad. Like, it's just that Randall would be like, we're doing this, and he wouldn't always ask her what she wanted. And I feel like that was really, like, I don't know how she managed to handle that, but she's an amazing woman. I think she definitely takes good care of her family and her girls, but somehow she still had a good balance of knowing when to stand her ground with Randall. She didn't like let him walk all over her. Yes, sometimes she compromised a lot more than she should have, but she still managed to stand up to him and stand up for herself when it was necessary. And you know, in the end we saw it pay off when she became like a ballerina teacher, opened her own dancing school, which was really nice to see. And not to forget to mention her ever-changing hairstyles, which I'm going to try and insert here if they're there. Like, Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me know what you thought of Beth, the ballerina. Yes, I'm gonna call her Beth the ballerina from now on. Next we have Kate. Kate. Troubled Kate. Oh, Kate. Kate was just bad vibes. Just bad vibes. Like, sis, do you not get tired of being moody all the time? Do you not get tired of being like sad all the time? Do you not get tired of being angry all the time? Like, just rest, relax, stop. Sometimes just be happy, sometimes just smile, Kate. And you know, all the way from baby Kate to adulthood Kate, she's just negative, 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 negative. And she eventually does like have revelations, and she does start to grow a little bit, like especially when she marries Toby. But the thing is, the problem with her, all her problems, she never really deals with them. She never really works on her problems, like going to therapy. Obviously, I think everyone in the show should have therapy. I think everybody in that show needs to see a therapist like yesterday, okay? But especially with her relationship with her mom really angered me and upset me, because she was constantly comparing herself to her mom, even though her mom did nothing but try to love her and show her love and encourage her and be a friend to her. She would constantly push away her mom for like no reason at all, simply for the fact that she was her mom. She made up facts in her head. My mom's prettier than me, my mom sings better than me, my mom's a better mother than I am, my mom's a better wife than I am. And it's like she just made all these comparisons and let that hold her back from loving her own mum, which was really sad to see, because their relationship only got better when her mum was like old and dying, which is just not ideal, is it? The only person in the family she likes is her dad, and when her dad dies, she makes it all about herself. Yeah, that was another thing about her. She was very selfish. Like, she managed to make everything about herself. I mean, to be honest, I feel like the big three in general always made things about themselves when it came to making decisions for their mum, especially. Oh, why didn't you involve me? It's like, well, it's not about you though. Why didn't I get to make the final decision? But it's not about you though. Oh, why didn't you guys tell me you were here? But it's not about you though. It was always I. Anyways, to me she was just a horrible character. I didn't see a lot of character development, but she was very annoying to me. I remember at one point in one episode she mentioned that she said something along the lines of she likes to stay fat because it gives her a reason to hate herself, or something like when she lost weight she wasn't happy because she felt like she had no reason to hate herself anymore. And I was just like, so she's choosing negativity, like she's choosing bad vibes, like she actually wants to feel like a victim all the time. So in a way she's choosing to stay fat, or she chose to stay fat, whatever it is. Of course it wasn't easy for her to lose weight, but you could also see the resentment when Toby lost weight and she didn't. And instead of being happy for her husband, and I think that's part of the reason why she's such a bad vibes. If bad vibes was a person, it would be her. We just call her Katie bad vibes, because I think that's why she projected so much hatred onto everybody else, because she hated herself so much. Like, if you don't have love within yourself, how are you going to give love to others? Like, I think that's part of the reason why she didn't really get on with a lot of people except her dad. She literally projected onto Toby. Poor Toby suffered when he was losing weight. When his career was doing well, she hated it instead of being happy for him. And she made it all about herself once again. Oh, I must be a bad mom, or I'm doing everything at home. And she always put herself in the victim position a lot of the time. I think she just enjoyed having a pity party. She was having a pity party for herself all her life, which is really sad. I really wish she hadn't spent so much time comparing herself to other people, and I wish she had spent more time loving herself, learning to love herself and appreciating herself, so that she could have had a better relationship, especially with her mum and her brothers as well. A lot of her victim mindset was self-inflicted, unfortunately, and that's why I said like everyone in the show needed therapy. She didn't believe in herself. From a young age she wrote herself off, said she couldn't do anything, she wasn't capable, she couldn't go to college. She could have, but she, like I said, it was all mental. She put herself in that victim mindset, so she couldn't achieve anything, so she didn't until it was very later on in life. And I think a lot of her insecurity was tied to her looks, which is part of the reason why she resented her mom, and probably even resented Kevin, because even though Kevin didn't think himself as someone smart, he still decided to do something with his looks and go into acting and modelling, which worked out well for him. But yeah, Kate was definitely a thumbs down character. Didn't like her one bit. Oh, Jack and Jill went up the hill, and Jack was the perfect father of This Is Us. Jack was lovely, and I do wish he hadn't died, so obviously we could have seen him in the old age and we would have seen like his marriage to Rebecca. Like, I think Jack obviously was portrayed in a very good light, but he had his flaws, and I like the fact that he owned them and he tried to be a better person all through it. Jack was probably definitely one of my favourite characters for sure. He was like the perfect husband, the glue of the family, and someone who overcame like a bad upbringing and a bad family background and became something very like opposite in a good way. Jack was definitely admirable. He was easy to like. If you didn't like Jack, please let me know, because I'd love to see what other people think of Jack as well, because obviously we didn't see a lot of him, but we saw his negatives and his flaws, but we didn't get to see him progress obviously later on in life. So just let me know what you guys think. One thing I will say about Jack though is very inspirational. He had a bad upbringing, and as we know, like, you can either become a repeat of what you grew up in or the complete opposite, and he chose to become the opposite. Although he had a little slip up, he almost became an alcoholic, and you know, he started like, you know, going his wife's back, but then he overcame that as well, which made him even more inspirational. Went to war, came back, overcame that as well. Like, so he was very inspirational in a lot of ways. He found a way to connect with all his children. I mean, except really Kevin was a bit of a problem, but he still managed to connect with all his children and his wife. He seemed to just be like this person that could just be a positive light to everybody. He wasn't even perfect, but he always tried his best, and that's what made him even so amazing, is that he didn't think of himself so highly. He was very humble, and he always tried his best, but he didn't brag about it. He just got on with it. I feel like maybe if he had lived, Kate would have turned out to be better than she did if he had lived, because the fact that obviously Jack died because of her asking to go back for the dog was part of the reason why he ended up dying. She then obviously took on that and then let that be something to add onto her pity party and her victim mindset. So maybe if he had lived, that might have helped her to be a bit more grateful for life and a bit more happy and positive, but we'll never know. I mean, let me know what you think might have happened. Lastly, we have Kevin. Kevin was very insecure and very unsure about himself, except when it came to his looks, which was, yeah, whatever. Like, I think he was just a very shallow person, just a very shallow character. So yeah, he wasn't my favorite either. I don't like how he always, like, especially at the start, he was always leaning on Kate for everything, going to Kate for everything, like literally like, Kate is my everything, Kate is this, I need to go to Kate for every little inconvenience in my life. And I didn't really like that, because I was like, you need to stand on your own 2 feet. Like, you're a grown man. Didn't like that at all. He lived off his looks for as long as he could, which got him far in the end. But I don't like that he didn't have any ambition. He didn't believe in himself enough to do anything more, because he was like, all I've got is my looks. Like, that's what he truly believed within himself, and he told himself that and lived by that until he became a successful model and actor, which is good for him. And I think he was literally only motivated to live life and do something with his life when he was living for somebody else. Like, when he had a girlfriend, he would be doing the most. When he eventually had his twins, he did the most. When he was engaged, he did the most. It was always like, when he had somebody to live for, that's when he would be motivated and do great things. But when he didn't, he was kind of just wandering around, gallivanting around, looking for a purpose in life. He definitely lived for like the approval of other people. When his lost long uncle came back into his life, he was literally trying to like get him up, moved out of where he was, trying to fix him, trying to get him to do this and do that. Obviously in the end it paid off, but he was being so pushy about it, to the point where it's like, if he wasn't helping somebody or at the center of someone's life, like, he felt like he was useless and he wasn't doing anything useful. His purpose was very much attached to people in his life and how he was helping them. He couldn't just do something for the sake of himself and grow and be a better person for himself, which was really annoying. But I feel like he never really grew up until maybe he had children, which is unfortunate, because it's like, seriously. And when he had children, even then, he was comparing himself to his father all the time. Oh, dad would have done this. I wonder what dad would have done. It's like, just be you. Like, you can do this. Like, believe in yourself. Please, Kevin, please believe in yourself. And he just couldn't. He really wanted to be in charge, be the boss, be the decision maker, but he was too fickle and he was too insecure to do it. So it always fell to Randall, and Randall then was like, never trusted him to make decisions, because he would always kind of not follow through, because I think his insecurities held him back from executing something really well. I think he definitely felt like he grew up in Randall's shadow a lot of the time, and I feel like that contributed to him feeling insecure and unheard. And I think that's why he probably felt like he was never good enough at anything, because Randall excelled at everything. Meanwhile, he wasn't doing well at all. So he just relied on his looks, because he was like, I think he thought he could never match up to Randall, and he could never match up to his dad, and it just continued that cycle into his adulthood. So yeah, everybody in the show needed damn therapy. Oh, I forgot to add what's her name again? Oh, I forgot to write about Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca was, I think Rebecca was a lovely mum. Obviously she came from like a family that was like rich, wealthy, so she was privileged, but I like that she didn't use her pretty privilege, she didn't use her wealth privilege like against other people. She was very much humble for somebody who came from such a wealthy and high class family, and even to defy her parents and marry Jack I think was just lovely. Like, and her marriage to Jack looked so beautiful, it looked so amazing. I think she really tried with Kate, but Kate was just so difficult and kept pushing her away, and I feel like she really wanted to have a daughter that she was best friends with because the rest of the house was men, and I feel sorry for her that she didn't get to have that. And I'm really sorry for her that she didn't even get to use her talent for singing as much as she should have and as much as she could have, because of obviously like having kids. And I like that she was so like impartial with the children, but I feel like obviously in her trying to make Randall feel included in the family ended up making her actual children feel excluded, which wasn't on purpose, but I feel like if they had noticed that a bit more they wouldn't have done it as much, her and Jack. But I think she did a good job of like holding the family together after Jack died, but I feel like it's just so sad that she had to lose such a lovely husband and such a lovely marriage at such a time. And handling Kate on her own was hard because Jack was really good with Kate and that was the only person Kate liked, and it was just now her and the kids. But I also commend her for moving forward. I personally don't have a problem with her moving on with Jack's best friend. Let me know what you guys think, because I know some people are like, no, she shouldn't have done that, that's wrong, that's whatever. I feel like it's fine. It's not like they moved on straight away. I think they said it was like 10-15 years before they got together or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't think it was all that bad. To be honest, it's easier to get with someone that you know. Rebecca was definitely a nice character. I feel like she's the one that probably needed therapy the least. I wouldn't even say she was my favourite, but I feel like her place in the show was so good. Like, she wasn't too much, she wasn't too little. Let me know what you guys think of Rebecca, because I don't have like a hard strong opinion on her, but I feel like she was just a lovely addition anyway. I feel like she definitely did struggle to manage her children in terms of helping them to be secure in themselves and to be more competent, especially Kate and Kevin. She definitely was a really nice person, and I think she was like a sweet fragrance that just adds nice smell to a room. Like when you walk in, like there was nothing I could really fault her on like strongly. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. So if you guys can recommend me another show to watch, because I really miss This Is Us. If you can think of another show that's similar to This Is Us, comment it below so I can watch it, because yeah, that was such a lovely show to watch. Every single episode literally had me either on the verge of tears or feeling emotional or actually crying. Like every single episode, no doubt. It's probably one of the best shows I've watched in terms of writing, acting and storyline. I was always emotionally invested and always emotionally engaged in every single episode, like without fail. It was an amazing show and I loved it and I miss it so much. I might probably watch it back from the start to finish in a few years, because I like to do that sometimes. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys want me to react to more shows, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. And I think he definitely felt like he grew up in Randall's shadow. Oh, it's okay, I'm just recording. Well, you walked in now, so you going to the park first? Oh, can I have one please? I'm so hungry. Wow. Well, this is awkward. I can't finish it. Okay, I can't do this now. Anyways, let's start. Pardon me.